What's up, Couch Heroes? This is Aaron Sampson welcoming you to the Medal of Honor Warfighter Multiplayer Starter Guide. To kick this off, I'd like to say that we have played Medal of Honor on both PC and console, but the following footage was taken on a 360, and we'll get you a graphical comparison later this week. So let's get Oscar Mike. As soon as Origin finishes its epic connecting to server cycle, the first thing you're going to do in Medal of Honor Warfighter is choose a nation. I'm fighting for Canada because if I'm about to get shot up, I want universal healthcare. But regardless of what nation you choose to fight for, as of the time this script was written, South Korea is still going to be kicking your butt. You can check out the competition at battlelog.medalofhonor.com. But now let's get to the fun part, guns. Take a minute to flip through the aggressively terrible menu system. Your first class is the Assaulter. Why does this matter? Medal of Honor has 6 classes: Sniper, Assaulter, Demolitions, Heavy Gunner, Point Man, and Spec Ops. These classes aren't so drastically different as, say, Battlefield 3, but they do have complementary weapons, abilities, and support actions that give slight advantages on each game mode. An example of a Medal of Honor class, and one of my favorites, is the Heavy Gunner. In general, your starting weapon isn't as good as the ones you unlock later, so as soon as you can, ditch that H&K MG4KE and pick up the M240B when it becomes available. It can be seen here in this dark, foggy closet where Tier 1 operators customize their guns. The Heavy Gunner has lots of bullets, which is complemented by a deadly bipod with forward-facing radar. The radar is critical because radar isn't normally up unless a UAV's been called in.
Enemy UAV overhead. You're in the open.
The bipod in Medal of Honor is especially useful in bomb planting modes because when you're on defense, you generally know where the other team is and what lanes they have to go down to get to you. Laying ambushes is pretty easy, and after a few kills, the Heavy Gunner support action becomes available. Speaking of, all classes have unique support actions that become available after a certain point total is reached, and there's always an offensive and defensive option. These can be thought of like kill streaks in Call of Duty. To complement the ability of the Heavy Gunner, the first support action can bring in either smoke or a mobile spawn point in the shape of a helicopter. That means your team can skip having to fall back if they go down, which conserves combat momentum. But beware, the counter to the spawn chopper, besides shooting it a whole lot, is the Assaulter's support action airstrikes. And if you put a spawn chopper in the wrong place, it's not hard for an enemy team to gun down your team while they have 2 hands securely on a big old fast rope. Then build up their own array of support actions and change the tide of battle. This game has good tactical balance, and you need to weigh when it's worth or not worth it to use your support action. Don't worry though, they persist through death, so you'll get that chance anyway. Moving on, another class example is the Juggernaut of the bunch, the Demolitions Expert, who can drop a phase shield and tank his way through a squad of enemies, useful for disarming bombs in hotspot and combat mission modes. This class can also quickly unlock support action Grenade Launcher and then cause even greater levels of carnage. Countering the Demolitions Expert is the backstabbing fastest set of feet in the game, belonging to the Spec Ops class. This class can also see through walls and has a wicked close quarters armament, including the MK18 JTF-2. This class is dominant in home run mode, which we'll cover in a second.
Home team is down to the last man. Flag carrier is almost home. Flag captured. Away team gets 2 points. Away team is in the lead by 1 point.
Let's say your team is stuck at a choke point. The Point Man has your back, or your front, with flashbang grenades and a room-clearing shotgun. Enough of classes, let's go back to guns. Weapons in Medal of Honor can take an assortment of attachments, such as the Assaulter here sporting the H&K 416 with dual sights that has both magnification and a side-mounted iron sight. Or, going back, the Canadian Assaulter's first gun, the JTF-2, with low-power dual sights that have 2 levels of zoom. Do this by aiming down sights and clicking the right analog stick on console. Once you unlock an attachment, it's yours to put on any gun in that class's armory. Sorry, Battlefield 3, this is a way better approach to weapon customization. Alright, so you've got your customized gun, now head over to the playlist. Under Find a Game and Quick Match, there's a host of options. Let's break it down. Combat mission equals 100 ticket rush. Hotspot mode equals 5 potential bomb locations, 3 randomly activate, 1 at a time. Attackers have 3 minutes to destroy each one to score points. Sector control is 3 flag conquest. Team deathmatch? Yup. And finally, one of the most unique to Medal of Honor is home run mode. This consists of 10 short rounds, no respawns, capture the flag, One side attacks, the other side defends. Teams switch after 5 rounds. As mentioned before, the fleet-footed X-ray vision toting Spec Ops class is dominant in this mode. So that's classes, modes, and some of the support actions. Let's talk basic combat. Different classes have slight advantages in different game modes, but in general, the majority of maps in Medal of Honor follow the traditional 3-lane design. As you transit the map, know what lane you're in and if it's one with short or long sight lines. It's not hard for, say, a heavy gunner to drop a bipod and lock down an entire lane with a long sight line. So to counter that, stay in your class's element and go around corners with your gun up. Now I know you've heard people say cover your angles before, and in Call of Duty the flow of battle is way too fast for that to be good advice. Also in Battlefield 3 the winner's often the guy with the fastest pair of legs. But in Medal of Honor it's a bit slower paced and there's more visual clutter on screen, making it impossible to run around a corner and spot a guy who's already lined up. So really, you should cover your angles. Medal of Honor also assigns you a Fireteam Buddy. This friend of yours is highlighted in green. Colorblind mode is also available in the menu. If you want a combat boost, stay close to each other. You can resupply ammo, heal each other, and if one of you goes down, the bastard who smiteth them is highlighted in red. Killing that summabitch brings back your fireteam member on the spot. If you don't get that guy, you can still spawn on each other so long as your fireteam buddy isn't actively engaged in combat. It's a good compromise on these small maps. It keeps your team's momentum going without that Battlefield 3 experience where 3 guys pop out of some dude's butt while you're trying to knife him. Alright then, that should get you started in the Medal of Honor Warfighter multiplayer. In conclusion, get to know your classes. Each has slight advantages on certain modes and situations. Pay attention to support actions that can change the momentum of a battle. Always cover your corners by aiming down sights as you go around them. Customize your weapons to fit your needs, stay close to your fireteam buddy for combat boosts, and remember, most maps have that classic 3-lane design. So, did you buy Medal of Honor Warfighter? What's your favorite class and support action so far? As always, we'd love to hear your tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the battlefield.